Thank you for turning to 10. From NBC 10 News, this is a Crisis in the Classroom Town Hall, Final Exam 2024. Here's NBC 10's Liz Bateson.
Good evening and welcome to our Crisis in the Classroom final exam. I'm Liz Bateson, coming to you from East Greenwich High School, where I was a student more than 10 years ago. Since then, a lot has changed in our education system, including a global pandemic. For the next hour, I'm going to have in-depth conversations about school staffing, safety, construction, and graduation requirements. We'll start in Rhode Island's capital city, where they're seeing staffing shortages.
We need to rethink what we're doing. It's not working.
From layoffs to displacement letters, school closures and staffing shortages, livelihoods and learning is on the line.
We're in a little bit of a mess right now in terms of hiring, in terms of placement of teachers.
Earlier this year, 367 teachers in Providence public schools received displacement letters, including 163 at the elementary level, 31 in middle school, 130 in high school, and 3 at the district level.
For years, we've done this criterion-based hiring, which means that you have to re-interview, even though you have a job. And you're displaced through no fault of your own, you have to interview for positions in other buildings. And it makes it difficult.
It comes at a time when the state-run district already faces staffing shortages and prepares to close schools, including 360 High School and Gilbert Stewart Middle School. Calabro says there's not a one-to-one ratio between displaced teachers and vacancies because the vacancies are harder to fill positions.
Math and the sciences and special education at all levels and all special needs types. So that's why there's such a disparity.
Calabro says it's a double-edged sword, with layoffs making it harder to recruit and retain teachers.
It's very difficult to get new people to come into the district to work because they feel like it's not stable. And rightfully so.
On top of all this, COVID relief money, which allowed the district to hire more staff, expired.
We were able to hire a lot of positions that were very greatly needed, school social workers at the elementary level, behavior specialists, etc. And now all of those positions have gone away. So we only reap the benefit of that money for literally a year.
She says because of this, they're unable to offer competitive salaries to attract more people to the district. I checked the district's website and found nearly 300 open positions with teacher salaries starting at around $46,000.
We need to talk very, very seriously about increasing pay for first and second and third year teachers. We need to be competitive, and we're not competitive in that arena.
Joining us now in Studio B for a roundtable discussion on chronic absenteeism and staffing shortages is Paige Clashes-Parks from RI Kids Count, John Pape from the Annenberg Institute at Brown University. You both have done extensive research on both of these topics. We also have Jack Cadman, a senior at South Kingstown High School, and Jeremy Sensor, a former teacher in Providence, now employed with the RI Federation of Teachers and Health Professionals. Thank you all so much for joining me today. So, John, I want to start with you. You've done research on chronic absenteeism and staffing shortages, particularly in the city of Providence. The Annenberg Institute recently uncovered that teacher resignations have more than doubled in Providence in the last 5 years. What do you think is the driving factor behind this?
Yeah, I think there are a couple different factors. Most importantly, this is a national trend, right? We see teacher resignations and the teacher workforce being really unstable across the country. The pandemic has disrupted all sorts of aspects of life, including teachers and teacher staffing issues. And I think that we've seen across the country and here in Rhode Island, right, the work of teaching has gotten much harder during the pandemic, right? There's so many more challenges and more things that teachers are being asked to do. And so I think all of that is contributing to these broader patterns that we're seeing. Yeah,
Jeremy, specifically, you were a teacher for a long time.
I was, and John's right. It changed greatly. I had an opportunity to be one of those teachers who taught during the pandemic. I've moved on to a different position now, but things did change greatly. And the feedback we hear from teachers is that they feel responsible for a whole host of issues beyond what we traditionally considered education. And when you consider the lack of compensation for students coming out of college, there's not much that really drives a younger workforce to want to become a teacher. There was a moment there for a couple of weeks where teachers were considered heroes, but largely the narrative around education returned to a more combative kind of blame-based narrative, and that's something that we hear from teachers as well.
Where does it begin to kind of retain and then attract teachers to the district?
Well, I mean, I think for a young person coming out, especially, we want to attract a workforce in Providence that reflects the student body population. We want to be the leading district to bring people in. And it's tough to tell somebody you're going to start out making not even enough to afford housing, and by the time your career is done, you're still not able to afford housing. Oh, and by the way, we don't really have a robust retirement program for you anymore. So some of the things that traditionally attracted people to teaching don't exist anymore. And I think that's where we need to bring people together to really talk about how we can bring these people in, but keep them beyond a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Absolutely, and I know a lot of teachers can be the reason why students come to school. Of course, across the entire state, we're seeing a large issue with chronic absenteeism. Paige, you've done a lot of research in this. Kids Count recently came out with their newest fact book. What were the findings on chronic absenteeism particularly?
Sure, so thank you so much for having me on. And the 2024 Rhode Island Kids Count fact book every year has tracked chronic early absence and middle school and high school absence. And what we found in this year's fact book is that during the pandemic, there was a large increase in chronic absenteeism. But since we're in this new phase and returning back to normal, back into routines, we're seeing chronic absence rates declining. So that is good news. However, our chronic absence rates are still too high. We still have many kids who are not in school. So our kids that are in kindergarten through 3rd grade, we call that early chronic absence. We're seeing about a quarter of kids, 25% of kids, are still chronically absent, which means they're missing 10% or more of the school year. And those numbers increase as you get to middle school, and then up to high school, it's 33% of high school students are chronically absent.
Okay, so we'll hold on to the little bit of good news for a second. I mean, obviously you mentioned that the rates are better than they were during the pandemic. What are we doing right to get kids back into those seats in the classroom?
Yeah, well, I think there's multiple things happening. One is that people are able to get back together, back into routine of being in school. So some of it is the nature of just the pandemic ending. Also, we had schools had ESSER dollars, their COVID-19 relief dollars, and many districts wisely used that money to really provide more staffing to be able to support and understand what's happening in schools. So hiring folks to be able to call families at home to see why kids are not in school. So that was a really good use of funding. We also know the state started the Attendance Matters campaign, which helped to spread information around the importance of being in school. So all of these factors, I think, have contributed to that decline.
And Jack, as a student yourself, I mean, what are you seeing in the schools? Are you seeing a lot of kids skipping class?
I definitely think there are a lot of kids in my school that skip class. I think it's for a variety of reasons. It's not just one or two reasons that people skip class. It could be for numerous reasons. They could have mental health issues. It could be issues at their home. Some people have to skip just to work. They don't make enough money. There are really a lot of issues. It's not just people skipping because they want to skip for the most part. I'll say that does happen, but it's not common, and it shouldn't be the narrative because I know it is. Some people say that they're just skipping because they want to. I don't think that's the case. Yeah,
what do you think we as a state should be doing better to help those students be in school?
I think it's really an issue that needs to be addressed from a lot of different angles because it's not just something the state can do. I don't think it's not something that you can just throw money at. I think it's something, you know, the home, the parents of children need to, you know, need to put effort into to really work with teachers, work with the government to try and create a solution. It requires people from all walks of life, I think.
Yeah, not really one size fits all. Still a lot more work to be done. Well, I want to thank you all so much for your time today.
Of course.
Coming up on our Crisis in the Classroom final exam, the creative solutions school districts are finding to handle rising construction costs. Our NBC 10 Crisis in the Classroom final exam continues. School construction was a big ballot question this past election cycle, with many districts giving the green light on new projects. It's something Warwick has already been working on after voters approved $350 million in bonds in 2022 to replace Tollgate and Pilgrim high schools. But inflation is impacting the price tags.
We have had to make some alterations so that way we can get these schools done within the $350 million price point.
Rising construction costs are causing school districts to get creative.
For Tollgate, for instance, we had to change up the initial design to minimize the excavation costs, and we had to kind of follow the lay of the land over on that side of the city.
In November of 2022, voters approved a bond measure to build 2 new high schools on the fields of the existing schools. Since then, construction costs have spiked across the nation, piling on worries like, will they stay on budget?
The initial designs were conceptual, and we really have to look at the inflation with some of the building materials. And there are a lot of things that we certainly wanted to have within these schools, and that we would deem those as nice-to-have items. And certainly if the costs afford it, we will get them back into the schools.
That includes reducing square footage and removing features in the gyms like walking tracks. Those cuts are allowing the district to stay on track and on budget.
The spaces are going to be very wide open, so that way there can be collaboration between the students rather than a standard, or a prior classroom style where it was just rows of seat. Now we're going to get them into groups so that way they can collaborate and engage more, be innovative while being independent.
The upgrades are overdue. The current facilities are more than 50 years old and have had their fair share of maintenance issues. Most recently in March, I reported that an electrical fire and extensive flooding damaged parts of Tollgate High School.
I stepped into like 2 inches of water, and it was like tropical hot. The ceiling tiles were already warping. The floor tiles were already lifting.
30,000 square feet of ceiling tiles and 20,000 square feet of floor tiles had to be replaced, and 15 classrooms were damaged. Galligan says they're ready to leave those issues behind when they break ground on the new construction projects slated to begin in March.
It's definitely necessary, and we're very much looking forward to it.
Meanwhile, work is already underway at various other schools across the district, including Norwood, Holloman, and Greenwood Elementary Schools and Windman Middle School.
Since 2018, the voters have approved 2 bonds totaling $96 million, and it's allowed us to make upgrades to the roofs, to windows, exterior doors, add in air makeup systems, perform asbestos abatement, make necessary ADA upgrades.
All of this while managing a budget season made challenging by a shakeup in state aid and COVID relief money no longer being available.
The governor's proposed funding formula for education has an approximate $1.3 million impact on our overall budget. As for the ESSER-funded items from prior years, it was slightly over $6 million, so we had to figure out how we retain those necessary curricular investments or positions such as math interventionists while also being reasonable with what the city can appropriate to us and what we were going to be getting from the state.
Warwick isn't the only district feeling the impacts from the changes to the state funding formula. Tamara Sakarzik reported that Woonsocket could be at risk of cutting programs and positions because of this. She reported the district is losing $1.2 million between enrollment, the inflation cap on core instructional funding, and other factors. After weeks of digging, she learned those impacts are stretching statewide.
This is kind of the perfect storm here.
Weeks after the I-Team revealed a state aid shakeup could cut programs and positions at Woonsocket schools, we're now learning the impact stretches statewide.
One of the major impacts that we're going to be seeing in the near future are layoffs.
Burrillville teacher Nicholas Servideo is raising concerns as his district is slated to lose $424,000 in state education aid. The superintendent tells me 9 positions could be in jeopardy, including up to 6 teachers, a result of declining enrollment and changes to the state funding formula.
Most of the cuts of staff that are anticipated are going to be at the middle and high school.
Hi, this is Tamara Sakarzik. The I-Team called school districts across the state to zero in on the impact. 15 districts with decreasing enrollment are looking at direct cuts in state aid. East Providence and Middletown could lose over $600,000 each. North Kingstown and Pawtucket could lose over $1 million.
Will we be able to close the pandemic learning gap with these cuts?
I don't believe so.
Mary Barden is the executive director of the National Education Association Rhode Island, a labor union representing school staff in 26 districts.
When those budget cuts happen, the first things to go are programs that don't involve direct classroom teachers. So those are often social workers, those are often interventionists in math and reading.
Districts slated to get a boost in state aid aren't immune to cuts either. While Governor McKee's proposal calls for increased funding for multilingual learners, it slashes the money spent per student by 2.3% of the anticipated increase, catching many districts by surprise.
Is this the first time you've seen that happen?
It is the first time I've seen it happen.
Superintendents call it a double whammy, with COVID-related funds drying up this fall, prompting questions over whether districts struggling with learning loss will fall even further behind.
The governor has set some bold goals for us to meet the progress of Massachusetts by 2030, and we need to have bold funding to meet those goals.
For the NBC Tonight team, I'm Tamara Sakarzik.
There's a lot of anticipation for the Unified High School in Pawtucket at the site of McCoy Stadium. The district has also been investing in ground-up projects like the brand new Winters Elementary and Baldwin Elementary School, which is currently being built. But a cash flow issue threw a wrench in plans, with the school committee saying the city was running out of cash to pay contractors. So how did this happen, and has it been fixed? I sat down with Pawtucket's mayor to find out.
It's an election year.
Pointing fingers.
The school district does not have a cash flow issue.
As school and city leaders clash over funding for school construction projects, the city of Pawtucket found itself in a financial fiasco that put the city at risk of upending school construction projects and not making payroll. It all started in March when the city finance director pointed out that payments for school construction projects like Baldwin Elementary were running out. With cash drying up, there was no way to pay contractors on that project or move forward with the Unified High School plan, which voters had already approved $220 million in bonds for. So how did they get tangled up in this mess?
We have new folks over at the school department, new superintendent, and she had a finance director that they let go, and a lot of staff they didn't have. What they hadn't done is they have to file, they'd be in the school with us. They have to say, we need X amount of dollars for this project, for these projects rather, and request us to go out for bond. That paperwork got lost in the shuffle. It never came over to the city.
The school department claims they filled out the paperwork and it was the city that didn't follow through on issuing bonds.
Everybody got into the blame game.
So the Department of Education stepped in to sort it out.
Everybody got nervous. Pulling everybody together is what we had to do with RIDE and everything. We realized that the paperwork wasn't filled out.
Grebian says the money has since been requested and an audit is being finalized. The Baldwin Elementary School project needs to be complete by June of 2025 in order to be eligible for an up to 91% reimbursement rate from RIDE. School committee members previously told me they feel confident that will happen as long as the city does their part. Grebian assures me they are.
Pawtucket is very solid. We're out bonding. We have a AAA bond rating. There are a lot of good things happening. So, I chalk that up to it's a political year. Let's move on.
As for the Unified High School project, Grebian says it's moving forward with no delays. He expects construction to begin sometime in August or September.
At the end of the day, it's about the people we represent, the kids we represent.
Students all across southern New England will have upgraded facilities in the coming years, but it's important that they feel safe inside those schools as well. Coming up, I'll take a look at the push to improve security for students and staff. The debate about using National Guard soldiers to stop the violence in Brockton schools. It's what the school committee wanted, but the governor and mayor said no. NBC 10's Allegra Zamor takes a look at what they're doing to keep students under control.
There are 3 key problems in Brockton: students taking drugs, fighting, and a teacher shortage. Some school committee members wanted the National Guard brought in to control the chaos, but that plan was rejected.
It seems to be trending downward.
I feel like everything's it's sort of calming down a little bit.
It's the message parents, staff, and students had been hoping to hear. Change at Brockton High after months, if not years, dealing with student brawls, staffing shortages, and declining performance.
It's just a small number of students that are, problematic, but, the security plan that was presented to the committee is, fairly recommended, and we're going to move forward with that.
A plan that includes bag checks and metal detectors, securing empty classrooms, and even bringing in reinforcements. Former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis tapped to lead a state-funded safety audit, intending to double security personnel to 24 by next year.
A school is about learning. And the behavior has been getting in the way of that.
Dr. Susan Zakowicz was Brockton High's principal from 2004 to 2013. She successfully turned around a school that was failing academically by pushing literacy to the max and fiercely monitoring the progress. And like then, she believes the school can overcome today's challenges.
As they build their own team and start moving forward, success brings more success.
She says with a new principal in place, there can be consistency, but there must also be consequence.
It needs to be the academics and student learning coupled with the disciplinary and safety measures that have to be in place.
For now, the school's new principal, Kevin McCaskill, is looking to implement the school committee's plan.
Keep believing in our students, keep believing in our staff, and that the best is yet to come.
Brockton school leaders say they have made progress and safety measures are working to cut down on bad behavior and fights. Allegra Zaymore, NBC 10 News.
In Rhode Island, there's also a push from state lawmakers to pave a new path forward when it comes to safety.
I've eliminated the term lockdown,
leaving lockdowns behind and instead referring to them as crisis response drills. It's all part of State Representative Jennifer Boylan's bill to change how these safety procedures are carried out.
Standard lockdown procedures generally involve turning off the lights, drawing the shades, and hiding in your room. There are so many real incidents that we can look at in our country where locking down and hiding in a room with an active shooter in the building with you is maybe not the best solution. The option to evacuate should be considered.
Drawing from real-life examples like the tragic school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed inside their classrooms.
The most recent horrific example of staying in the building with an active shooter is not always the best.
Under the bill, teachers would be trained at the beginning of the year on when to convert a lockdown situation into an evacuation. From there, students grades 6 through 12 would have training on crisis response procedures in October, and all grades would perform the drill in January. The current law requires lockdowns be done twice a year for all students in September and in January. Boylan says that can trigger stress and anxiety in students.
I think we need to take a trauma-informed approach to these drills and make sure that we're not making the situation worse. Children should feel safe and secure in their schools.
Boylan says she was inspired to overhaul the current law after experiencing a lockdown at her son's school right after the Sandy Hook school shooting.
I, along with all the kids and a teacher and a couple of teachers' aides, attempted to hide in a closet. It was very scary for me. The rawness of Sandy Hook and what had just happened was palpable. I mean, the teachers and I were blinking away our tears, knowing what had happened, and it just really stuck with me. I mean, to this day, I'll never forget it.
The bill would also require 48 hours notice to families that a training drill will be happening. On the day of, it will be announced over the loudspeaker that it's a drill.
No child or teacher is sitting in their school wondering, am I about to be shot by an armed invader, or is this a drill and we're going to just practice and be prepared?
Certain students will be able to opt out of the drills if it would be particularly traumatizing to them, and all students would take part in a debriefing procedure after the drill.
How can you be expected to go back to school and take a test and perform well, having just gone through that?
Coming up, I'll talk with Rhode Island's Education Commissioner about school staffing, safety, construction, and graduation requirements. That's next on our Crisis in the Classroom final exam.
Thank you for turning to 10. From NBC 10 News, this is a Crisis in the Classroom Town Hall, Final Exam 2024. Here's NBC 10's Liz Bateson.
I'm here now with Rhode Island Education Commissioner Angélica Infante-Green to talk about all things happening across our education system in Southern New England. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So I want to start off with a topic we've delved a lot into, which is, of course, Providence Public Schools. Right now, teacher layoffs are a big point of contention. I know social workers and counselors are some of the positions that are going to be cut just because of the COVID relief money running out. Talk to me about the impact that will have on students, especially in this post-pandemic world.
Yeah, it's you know, it's not something that anyone wants to do, right? You know, unfortunately, the money is gone, and we've also experienced lower enrollment. So, for example, the state has really been very proactive. So as a state, we held the districts harmless. This year's at 40%, and next year will be at 25%. So we have an off-ramp because we understand the impact. So Rhode Island as a state has been incredible with our districts. So the impact, obviously, we want to keep teachers. We want to keep the supports for our students. It is just where we are, not just in Rhode Island, unfortunately, as a nation. Everybody's experienced this. We hear cuts in Massachusetts, Connecticut, everywhere. So it's not something we want to do because we care about our students and our teachers, and we want to keep them here. But we have to be fiscally responsible. And many of the licenses that teachers have are not the licenses in the high need areas that still remain as vacancies. So it becomes a challenge for us.
Another recent report, a Senate-led commission recommended an overhaul of the Providence Teachers Union, kind of stressing more collaboration between the Department of Education and the union. How do you think that we accomplish that?
Well, I think that, you know, working together is really important for us to keep moving the needle. I think that there has been progress in that area. I think that there are conversations, and the superintendent and the district and the teachers union have been working closely. I think that there is a possibility of things moving in a different direction.
Do you think the state takeover is on track to end this year?
I don't know that that's the case. What we have said is that we're going to evaluate whether what kind of progress has been made. Nobody anticipated a pandemic. Mm-hmm. It was 3 months after we took over, and what we have seen is that there has been progress. We've seen progress take place. We always look back at the Johns Hopkins report and we say, okay, where are the areas? We heard parents say, you know, their kids were getting different curriculum, even if they had kids in different schools, and that has been taken care of. We have one curriculum that is rated green. The teachers have been getting training. The buildings, I remember when I first came in, the teachers were crying. I had a teacher who showed me a bucket that she would hold up when it rained. That is not the case. We have built 3 new schools, and we're right on target to have 100% of the kids in new or like new buildings.
And you mentioned the new or like new buildings, the school buildings, and school construction is something happening all across the state. All districts pretty much getting upgrades. Talk to me about the importance of getting students into those 21st century learning buildings.
So we are very proud of that work because it changes the work. It changes how students learn to be in these buildings where the classrooms are flexible. Some of the classrooms, you know, you can walk right out and the hallway becomes part of the classroom. The walls are gone. We have classrooms across the state. Obviously, everybody talks about East Providence High School, but there are many other, we have Winters. We also have all the other buildings that are in the state that changes how everybody learns. People may think, you know, it's just a building, but it's not. It really is a space where kids can engage in a different way. Technology is changed and it moves very rapidly, and these buildings are built to support the students in this very modern way of learning. The tables are even used for instructional purposes. They write on the tables now. They use them as a board. The space is flexible. The kids it's just amazing. Like, if you would to see this. And what's incredible for us in Rhode Island is that we have 50 new schools, And it may not sound like a lot, but for us, it is. If we were to compare that to California, it'd be 1,300 schools. So that's what this has looked like. This is a historic investment in our kids, in the future of Rhode Island. And if you haven't seen one of these new buildings, please go look at them so you can see it's not just the building, but instruction needs to change. What happens in the classroom. So anyone that's listening to me, go see the new buildings because it really speaks to what we value in our state.
Absolutely. And another big priority of your department, the governor as well, is getting students into those schools, attendance. We're pretty much one full year into the Learn 365 school year, into the Learn 365 program. Have you seen things change? Is it working?
Oh my gosh, yes it is. I'm so excited because we have seen 90% of our schools, their attendance rate has gone up. We have about 250,000 less days missed as a state. So it's really incredible. We were just highlighted last week by the U.S. Department of Education. We were in the White House actually, really highlighting the dashboards that we have. We're the only state that has real-time dashboards. So if everyone that's listening actually, should go on our website and see that it shows the attendance for the school, but not just the school, community, because we want everyone in our community. That's what Learn 365 RI is about, and all our efforts is about really bringing everybody in the community. So if you're a mayor, you're in this. If you are a pastor, a preacher, you're in this. Please. Missing even one day of school has an impact. When you're missing one day, you're missing science, reading, math, and math builds. And chronic absenteeism for us in the state of Rhode Island is 18 days. It's 10% of the school year. And that is really difficult if you've missed 18 days. That's almost a month of school. How do you recuperate that time loss? It is very difficult.
And I want to talk about school safety. There's been an uptick in violence in schools nationwide, really, just between swatting calls or fights in schools. What do you think we as a state and districts as well can be doing better to protect both students and faculty?
Yeah, you're right. This is a nationwide problem. Nobody's the same after the pandemic, right? So these are the after effects of that. And what we can do is really talk to our kids about how they can disagree about things, how we can problem solve, and be very open about it. What can we do to support you? How do we teach our kids to have dialogue and not resort to any type of physical confrontation? That is important for us, and we have at the state make that a priority for everyone to have those conversations. What can we do? Mental health supports are really important. We have secured over $50 million in mental health supports for our state, federal dollars, because it's really important. We really need to have these conversations and really support the schools with these different types of conversations, supports. Kids have to feel connected to adults in the building so that we don't resort to that.
As we close out this school year, what are your goals for next school year?
Well, our goals are similar. We want to make sure that all our kids are in school every single day. We want to expand CTE because we have some amazing CTE programs across the state. We want to make sure that we're moving and meeting for the class of 2028, the secondary regs, civics, financial literacy, computer science, world languages. So that's our goal, to have all those things in place and provide more opportunities for our kids and continue to see their growth in math and literacy. That's what we want to see, and those are our goals. And science. Science is a new measure this year because our kids need to be able to explore, learn, and this is our future. So we are committed to continue to push forward as a state. And Rhode Island is a state on the move. Being recognized by the White House is a huge deal.
It really is. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
A push to scrap the MCAS, a standardized test students need to pass in order to graduate in Massachusetts, is gaining steam. I talked to one lawmaker who's leading the charge. Nationally, there's a lot of changes when it comes to standardized testing. Some colleges requiring SAT scores once again, including Brown University, and the exam now fully digital. I'm here now with Hallie Lavenstein with Rhode Island Tutorial and Educational Services. You help students prepare to take the SATs, so you know all about this. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, up until this point, a lot of schools have made submitting your scores optional. Brown University now reinstating that requirement to submit your test scores. A lot of colleges saying this is kind of indicative of how a student could perform once they get to college. Do you think that's accurate just from your experience?
That's absolutely right, Liz. It is. And so the advantage is if your school, you can think locally, and then this is a national test. So nationally, not all high schools offer the same amount of AP classes or honors classes. So the SAT can be a really great way to show what you're capable of and how you're prepared to do those college level courses. So that's a real advantage to the SAT coming back.
Absolutely, and there are some disadvantages, like all things. Some people arguing lower income students cannot get the prep. Of course, people with learning disabilities might not test as well. Talk to me about some of the disadvantages that you see just from your work.
Right, absolutely. So with some students, they can't access the practice as much as others. So I think that the College Board that offers the SAT is doing a better job of creating that access for students, but they could still do more, and they're working on that. But if you don't test well, or if you have anxiety, whether it's a diagnosed anxiety disorder or just you get anxious around high stakes tests, this is the highest stakes test you can have. So naturally, you might not perform as well as you normally would under other circumstances. So being able to access your knowledge while taking the test is important. And if you have trouble with that, that's a disadvantage. If you have a learning difference, like you have trouble with time management, or you're dyslexic, so reading and reading comprehension is more difficult for you, then it's going to be a test that doesn't really necessarily show everything that you're capable of.
Which is, of course, what you're here for, to help the students take the test. The SAT now digital, that's a big change this year. Talk to me about how it's been rolled out.
So they've done a very good job of rolling it out. They let us know it was coming. In March, they transitioned completely over to the digital format. I will say you can still request the paper version, but you have to go through a process of requesting that. That's all on the College Board site, and we help our students if they want to do that. We will help them with that process, but most people are staying with the digital version. Everybody's used to their computers and having to use those, so that's the new format that is the standard format for the SAT.
And how can people come and see you and utilize your services if they do need that help?
Yes, so we are based in Pawtucket with our Learning Center. Some of our support services happen there, but also our teachers are out all throughout Rhode Island and Southeastern Massachusetts, so they can meet with students at a local library. Some of our teachers have their own home office, so the students come to them. Some are working at the Learning Center, and some are even doing it virtually.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Hallie, for your time and for all of that information. I appreciate it. A push to scrap the MCAS, a standardized test students need to pass in order to graduate in Massachusetts, is gaining steam. I talked to one lawmaker who's leading the charge. Passing the MCAS in exchange for your diploma has been a long-time standard in Massachusetts, but will it soon be a thing of the past? That's what a group of lawmakers are hoping for.
This bill does not seek to end standardized testing. It seeks to end high-stakes standardized testing, which means allowing one test to determine whether or not a student gets a diploma.
Senator Joe Comerford is one of the sponsors of the Thrive Act. The bill would make two big changes to the MCAS, removing it as a graduation requirement and preventing the state from taking over districts that perform poorly. She says passing the MCAS has disproportionately impacted students in special education and communities with a large population of multilingual learners.
What are we measuring here? Are we measuring their English acquisition, or are we measuring their math skills?
New Bedford is one of those communities.
That's why the issue is understood here so deeply, because it is in low-income communities and low-income communities of color that feel the impact.
They're leading the charge on a ballot question initiative for voters that would also eliminate the MCAS graduation requirement. Right now, the city is ranked among the top 5 in the state in terms of signature collections for the initiative.
MCAS scores affect housing choices, where people choose to buy homes, or property values. community perception. And in New Bedford, we've seen how MCAS scores facilitates privatization.
Not everyone is in favor of this. Supporters of the current requirement say it's a way to measure student achievement and hold schools accountable. What would you say to them?
We will still have standardized testing in the Commonwealth. So we will still be able to measure cohorts of students against each other, districts against each other.
Coming up on our Crisis in the Classroom final exam, the funding crisis early childhood centers across the state are facing. And we can't forget about our littlest learners. Early childhood centers across the state are facing a funding crisis, and it's causing classrooms to close.
It starts at birth. It starts before birth, honestly.
Getting a head start on learning in Head Start classrooms.
It's scientifically proven that the brain develops at the most from 0 to 3. We need to get these kids into high-quality programs.
But like most early child care centers across southern New England, it's facing setbacks. Last year, 8 classrooms at Children's Friend were temporarily closed, and 150 kids were on waiting lists to get in because they couldn't hire enough teachers.
We worked with the federal government, and we actually reduced the number of children we serve in our Head Start program so that we could increase our teacher and teacher assistant salaries. 6
classrooms are now permanently closed in exchange for those higher teacher salaries. Teachers in Head Start programs, which serve low-income children in every town and city in Rhode Island, saw a 30% boost in pay, but they still make less than what preschool teachers make in public schools, which on average is $13.26 an hour. Caprio says the solution is not just new funding, but also keeping current investments.
Right now in Rhode Island, we have a pilot program that was funded last year to allow childcare staff to have free childcare for their children. So somebody who might be at home and is looking to come back to work but really can't afford childcare is saying, hey, if I go work at a childcare center, my children will be cared for free.
That's set to end on June 30th, and the governor didn't include the funding in his budget request for the new year.
Almost 50% of the licensed childcare centers in our state are participating in that program. So they have at least one staff member who is there because their kids can go there for free. And if that program ends, we're going to lose some of those teachers, and we're going to close more classrooms. We're going to go backwards.
And I want to keep this conversation going because there's so much to dive into. I'm here now with Aimee Salazar, a preschool teacher at Dr. Pat Feinstein Child Development Center at URI, Cruz Bueno, a parent of 2 little ones and an economist at URI, and then Lisa Hildebrand with Rhode Island Association for the Education of Young Children. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a really important conversation and a lot to dive into. I think one of the biggest things right now is we need more funding simply in order to recruit and retain teachers, keep classrooms open. I mean, Lisa, talk to me about the crisis that you're seeing right now in childcare in terms of funding.
Well, you just said it all. We need some additional support for our early childhood programs and for our educators, and that in turn helps our families and the young children. So we have a true crisis where we're having a hard time finding teachers and keeping teachers in classrooms because of the compensation, and that in turn makes programs really struggle in keeping those classrooms open and staffed well. So what happens is they close the classrooms, and then that limits access for families. So we have super long waiting lists for families, especially for infants and toddlers, and the youngest children, and really those are the children that the ratios are much smaller and their needs are higher and the cost is higher, and so it's really like this circular kind of event, and so we basically just need the additional funding and support.
Absolutely, and to keep the current investments going as well. I know the state has done a lot to help childcare, but we want to keep that and then, of course, have more funding as well.
Yes, absolutely. So during COVID, we were able to receive some additional support to keep those programs operational, like really just still running and being able to care for children. A lot of those relief dollars are now expired, and over the last year or two, we were able to get some additional funding through either federal money, grants, or opportunities through the General Assembly, but a lot of those programs are also now expiring, especially this year.
Childcare is extremely expensive. I mean, Cruz, as a parent of 2 little ones, you have your daughter here today because of exactly this, the childcare crisis.
So we have 2 little girls. Amaya Lily is almost 3, Esma Rose almost 1. We put Amaya Lily into daycare at Beautiful Beginnings, which is a high quality, moderately priced daycare center. We were balancing my little one's care between ourselves, my parents, community members. We are paying close to $30,000 this year for both girls. Wow. We make above the median. We don't qualify for any support, which I understand. But if families who are making above median income in the state of Rhode Island have to pay $30,000 a year,
right?
It is a huge strain on a family with small children. And what we want to highlight is that families are struggling, childhood centers are struggling, the workers are struggling. And so just back to the earlier point, I was at a grocery store last week. The deli counter was an early childhood special education teacher. She was amazing. Mm-hmm. It is more lucrative for her to work at a deli counter than in a child care center, but where her talents are most needed and most productive are with little children.
Right, yeah, and I love how you talked about how it's difficult just for the educators in that field. I mean, you're one of them. I mean, what are some of the challenges and the big impacts that you're dealing with right now?
Yeah, so I actually worked at another preschool before my current preschool, the Dr. Pat Feinstein Child Development Center, and just to see the difference between those 2 jobs. I mean, I loved the job that I had, and I ended up leaving it because my salary doubled just from one job to the other. It's just already an issue, especially because we know that I moved to a different preschool. Most people don't make that jump. They actually go to deli counters or to fast food. I mean, Starbucks workers get paid $2 more than the average daycare worker. We're not sure we can really make it in this field, not because we don't love our jobs, because we do love our jobs, but because we can't afford to do our jobs and survive in this economy.
Right. Absolutely, yeah, and you need to take care of you as well as you take care of the children. I mean, is there a solution that you guys are looking for from lawmakers? Is there anything that you're asking that they can do to kind of work towards the solution?
You know, Liz, there is a solution, and the money is there, and there is revenue for Rhode Islanders, right, which is just a very minimal tax on people who make not 1 million, but well above $1 million, and that would help to fund childhood centers and teachers. And I can't stress this enough, children are the single most important economic factor for a nation's economic and national security. They are the future workers, consumers, taxpayers, and we need to invest in children.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. We're running out of time. We could keep this conversation going because there was just so much to dive into, but I want to thank you all for the important work you're doing and for joining me here today.
Thank you, Liz, for having us.
I'm back here at East Greenwich High School where we close out our conversation about what's happening inside the classroom. But the learning doesn't end here, and we want you to be a part of the conversation. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about your child's education, call the number on your screen or email schoolcrisis@wjar.com. Until then, I'm Liz Bateson. Have a good night.